Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been following the NFL news cycle over the past few weeks, you know that the offseason is always bustling with rumors, trades, and strategic moves. But this particular scenario, could be a game changer for the Atlanta Falcons. We're talking about the possibility, yes, it's still speculation at this point, that Christian Kirk, the dynamic wide receiver currently with the Houston Texans, might find himself wearing Falcons colors sooner rather than later. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, Christian Kirk was traded to the Texans. That's the official news, right? Well, yes, but what if I told you that there's a compelling reason to believe that the Falcons could be in the mix to acquire him, and that it could make perfect sense for both sides? Let's clarify something right away. As of now, Kirk is officially a Texan, having been traded before the NFL draft for a surprisingly modest 7th-round pick. That's right, just a 7th-round selection, which honestly is a bargain for a receiver of Kirk's caliber, especially considering the NFL landscape and how teams value wide receiver talent nowadays. But this isn't just about what's happened on paper. It's about what could happen next, the strategic moves that could reshape the Falcons' offense, and perhaps even their entire season. You see, the Houston Texans, in their infinite wisdom, decided to move quickly to secure Kirk before the draft, probably sensing that they could get him at a bargain price and without giving up much. And that's exactly what they did. It was a smart move from their perspective, especially considering the fact that they managed to draft some promising players in the draft, including a receiver or two that they hope will develop into future stars. But here's the thing, Kirk, even with his talent, doesn't seem to fit perfectly into the Texans' long-term plans anymore, especially after they drafted additional receivers like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, and already have Nico Collins, John Mechie, and Tank Dell. That's quite the crowded room, and with so many options, Kirk's role diminishes. Now, why would the Falcons be interested? Well, for starters, the Falcons, after a very active offseason, have been trying to rebuild and retool their offense around their young quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., who has shown flashes of brilliance in his short NFL tenure. Penix, who was drafted 8th overall in the 2024 NFL Draft, is a player with incredible arm talent and a high football IQ. He's the kind of quarterback who can elevate the entire offense, but he needs weapons, real weapons, to unlock his full potential. And that's where Christian Kirk could come into play, because he's a proven route runner, a reliable target, and most importantly, a player who excels in the slot, exactly what the Falcons need. Let's take a closer look at why Kirk fits so well with the Falcons. When we analyze his usage over the past seasons, it's clear that he's most effective when working out of the slot. In 2024, despite missing most of the season due to injury, Kirk ran approximately 81.7% of his routes from the slot, according to PFF stats. That's a dominant number, indicating he's at his best when operating in that space. And in 2023, he was still heavily utilized in the slot, with about 71.3% of his routes coming from there. So it's no secret, Kirk is a slot specialist, and that's exactly the role that the Falcons need to fill, especially after cutting or trading away some of their less reliable slot options. Now, the current Falcons roster, while promising, has some question marks at receiver beyond Drake London and Darnell Mooney. London has shown flashes of brilliance, but his consistency and health remain concerns. Mooney, on the other hand, is a solid deep threat, but the Falcons need more versatility, more reliable hands, and a player who can step in and contribute from day one. Enter Christian Kirk. He's a polished route runner, a player with good hands, and someone who can immediately help take pressure off London and Mooney, especially in third-down situations and red zone targets. Another crucial aspect to consider is the Falcons' draft strategy from last year. They made a bold move by trading up for James Pierce Jr., a promising linebacker, which depleted some of their draft capital, particularly in the later rounds. This means that their ability to draft additional depth at wide receiver was limited, and they might now be looking to supplement their roster through trades rather than the draft. Acquiring Kirk, even at a 7th-round pick, would be a strategic move, adding a proven veteran to the mix without giving up significant future assets. But what about the numbers? Can Kirk realistically regain his form from 2022 when he posted over 100 yards receiving? Well, that's a very real possibility. In 2023, despite the injuries, he still managed to have 787 yards over 12 games, which is a solid production rate. And if he can stay healthy, and with Penix's arm talent and ability to extend plays, Kirk could be a perfect fit for the Falcons' attack. His familiarity with the slot, combined with his ability to make contested catches and create after the catch, makes him an ideal target for a young quarterback looking to develop chemistry. Of course, it's important to temper expectations. Not every player can replicate their best season, and Kirk's production next year might be lower than his peak. But even if he logs around 700-800 yards as the Falcons' WR3, that's a significant upgrade, especially considering the chemistry he could develop with Penix over the course of the season. Plus, having Kirk on the roster would add a layer of veteran experience and reliability that could be crucial in close games, especially during playoff pushes. Speaking of playoffs, FanDuel currently has the Falcons with -184 odds to make it in 2025, which reflects a high level of confidence in their current trajectory. But adding a player like Kirk could push those odds even higher, making a playoff run more feasible. With the offensive line improving and the defense already showing signs of growth, the Falcons could be on the cusp of something special. And a veteran receiver who has playoff experience and can produce immediately would be the cherry on top. Now, let's address the logistics. Trading for Kirk would likely involve a modest price, possibly a future 7th-round pick, or maybe even a 6th-rounder if they want to sweeten the deal. Considering what Kirk could bring in terms of production and leadership, that's a bargain. The Falcons should absolutely consider making that move. It's a low-risk, high-reward scenario that could pay dividends in the upcoming season and beyond. In summary, the idea of Christian Kirk ending up in Atlanta isn't just wishful thinking. It's a move that makes strategic sense when you analyze the roster needs, the draft limitations, and Kirk's skill set. It could provide the Falcons with a reliable slot receiver, a veteran presence, and a player who can help unlock the full potential of Penix Jr. and the entire offense. It's a move that could elevate their offensive attack to new heights and give them a real shot at contending for the NFC South title and making a deep playoff run. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And I want to hear from you now, Falcons fans. What do you think about this potential move? Do you believe Christian Kirk would be the perfect fit for Atlanta? Or do you think the team should focus on other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and of course to the Falcons' future. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and the latest news on everything Atlanta Falcons. So stay tuned, keep your passion alive, and let's keep building this community of true Falcons fans. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!